Good evening. Good evening. All right. Thank you for the introduction. Thank you for having me here for the orientation. So I am here today to talk to you more about off-campus living and community partnerships. Again, my name is Phil B. Chambers, and I'm the Associate Director. So to give a little bit of background about our office came out of the need to serve people that lived immediately off campus. We knew when we had residential students, people that lived in our residence halls, people that lived in our dorms, but as far as admissions go, for a long time, we knew that people lived off campus, and then after that, we didn't really know more about it. So a lot of students, by nature of New Brunswick, lived in houses right here in the 5th Ward, right here in the 6th Ward, so in the neighborhoods directly behind the College Avenue Student Center, in the area around Easton Avenue. Our students frequently bought houses and rented property there, but we didn't really track it. We didn't really know that our students were there. So as time went on and the university grew, we had the merger of all the campuses, our population started to move in those areas as well. And to the point now, we have somewhere between, this is an estimate because we're still tracking students, we're still tracking them, but we have somewhere between 10,000 to 15,000 students living right here immediately in the 5th, 6th, and 2nd Ward. And I include the 2nd Ward because that is the neighborhoods around the Cook Douglas campus. So, off-campus living and community partnerships. We're providing support for our students, and we provide that support primarily through 3 different areas. First, through our resources and our legal services that we provide to students that are looking for apartments, that are looking for homes right here in 5th, 6th, and 2nd Ward. We also give out information to people that live in Highland Park, that may live further into New Brunswick, but our focus right now is really the 5th, 6th, and 2nd Ward. The second area that we really tailor toward is faith communities. Here at Rutgers University, we have a vibrant faith community, and we have chaplains that represent all of our faiths right here on campus. They liaise through our office when we're meeting, when there is a march, for example. There was a march recently that actually got some big press on CNN and everything. Our office coordinated some of the chaplains to make sure that they're walking with the groups. If there's anyone in the group that has a crisis or they're frustrated by something that they hear or say right there on the spot, they'll be able to reach out to a chaplain or somebody in clergy and have a discussion and a conversation with them right there on the sport. The third area that we work on with off-campus living and community partnerships is, actually 4 areas. I'll mention the food pantry as well. Just recently, this past summer, we realized that there was a need for information and resources around food insecurity. A lot of our students, they have debt that they're working on, they have jobs in addition to their class loads. A lot of our students are paying for books and paying for the things to get themselves from point A to point B, they forget. And that happens. I know I did it. I know I lived off Top Ramen for a couple of weeks straight. I try to avoid that now, but even now, it's like, sometimes you get busy and you kind of forget to buy groceries. Well, our office also handles the food pantry here on campus. And that is a service that is available for all Rutgers students. You don't have to live off campus to have that service available to you. So, our office has that pantry, and during regular office hours, anyone can just walk in. You can literally walk in and say, hey, I'm food insecure. It's a discreet process. We have staff that are there 5 days a week. And even if it's sometime, a little bit after hours, we have staff members that can, stay around in the office a little longer and help out students. Currently, some of our staff members, our Good Neighbor liaisons, are being trained to even transport goods to students. So that's going to be another service that we're going to add on to that food pantry service here on campus. The fourth facet that's handled really through our office is service. We encourage our students to stay active in their communities. We encourage our students to make sure that they give back, to pay it forward. And we truly believe here at Rutgers that the only way you can really excel is by having a service component and a generosity in what we do, and loving what we do. So we have, we have Give Where You Live interns. These Give Where You Live interns actually work through our office and they coordinate community service events with our students. So they'll post a Facebook event, you know, a time, a place, and all students have to do is show up. And they'll get vests, they'll get, if we're going serving at the soup kitchen right here in New Brunswick, they'll get, you know, directions to go there. We may be picking up litter because we have a no litter campaign through our office as well, making sure that we try to keep our communities a little cleaner, a little bit more good looking. So that service component is important to us as well. Some other things that we do workshops for our students. For example, I just talked about litter. A anti-littering campaign is included in our Party Smart workshops. Our Party Smart workshops are tailored toward students that may throw parties off campus. And I say may, but they throw parties off campus. If you haven't heard. And what we try to do at Rutgers is make sure that if our students are going to be gathering, if they're going to be social, like we know, we give them the tools to do it safely. We tell them how much your liver can process, how much alcoholic beverage your liver can process per hour. We give them tips on making sure that you communicate with your neighbors, making sure that you're giving out cards and contact information to the people around you, so that when you're throwing something, they know how to contact you if things get too loud. We give them tools to talk to police officers here in the area, making sure that our officers know and they're aware of the events and things going on, so they're not clashing. That initiative is handled through our office. We also have a off-campus living list through Places for Students, and it's basically a database of the current landlords, the current off-campus apartments that we have, and we list them, and students have. It's almost like think of Trulia or one of the other services that provide a list of apartments in an area. We have that service for our students right here at Rutgers University. So students are able to look at that website and check out what they like, price points, how big the apartment is, and go from there. Go from there and contact that landlord of that apartment.
Is that online?
That is online. Places for Students is online. And on the sheet in front of you, spelled out, it says Off-Campus Living Community Partnerships. If you Google that, you'll see our website. Rutgers Off-Campus is really all you need to find our website, and those resources are there.
Also, provide feedback on landlords, the experience that they have with landlords.
Yes, great question. Most of that information is housed in our office, but there is some on the website as well. So that just depends on the reviews and how much students actually comment on things on the site. But within our office, we also have that. So what we do for students that may call us, hey, when we invite students to do this, say they're interested in an apartment, they can literally call us and give us an address. One of us in our office will look at the address, see who the landlord is. We'll see if there are any past issues between Rutgers University and that landlord. And we'll fill the student in on that information. Say the student has a question about their leasing agreement or their contract. They see some suspicious lingo and they don't really have the vocabulary to figure out what that means. They can bring that into our office as well. And if it's above our heads as an off-campus living office, we actually have attorneys here on campus through legal services that we can contact, and they'll break down the lingo even further for us. And all of that.
Do you recommend
In most times, no. In most cases, no. But we do recommend if there are any doubts, yes. Because many students, they just sign and they're not reading the lease agreement, they're not reading the contract. We encourage our students to make sure that they're reading through it. Then if any flags pop up, they can comment. Right. Any other questions before I go on?
In the draft, for a lot of the houses are attorneys sort of related. Excuse me, so for the tracking, do you do that with them? Because I know they count what's going on. So how do you interact with them?
Yes and no. Most of the tracking is done through our Office of Fraternity and Sororities. We have an office dedicated to fraternities and sororities.
So official. I mean, know.
Right.
If there's a house,
Right.
I send this announcement that certain brothers are not keep track of it, and you.
Right. So we know where those houses are. The ways we interact with official and unofficial fraternity and sorority houses off campus, like the Party Smart training that I was telling you about. That's a service that we offer where we go to their house or we host them in our house at 39 Union Street, and we give them tools to interact more positively when it comes to social situations, when it comes to parties and things like that. We do keep that database that I was telling you about. So in our office, if we know that it's an unofficial fraternity house, or we know we've had issues with that house, that's something that we would know and that we would use in future interactions. For example, if someone was moving next door, making sure that we give them the tools, they communicate early, start working out what's best for between the houses, between both houses, so you have fewer conflicts in the future. Did that answer your question?
Excuse me. Could you speak a little bit about evacuating? I know that's a different subject as it pertains to your office. Can you speak a little bit about that?
Parking doesn't pertain directly to our office, but I can't speak on what I know. For off-campus housing that is immediately near student centers or right here on campus, some of that is permanent. And actually, like if you all know more about this, like feel free to chime in. But when you're living that close to campus, that usually requires a permit. There's assigned parking for a lot of the apartment complexes and even the houses right here on campus that are off-campus homes. Now, when we get further back, further into Brunswick, a lot of that's just regular street parking. Once you get really on the other side, I would say on the other side of the Eastern Avenue, getting further into Brunswick, that's for the most part street parking. If you have a house and you're renting it with housemates, they all pull into their driveway. Depending on the house, sometimes they have parking in the rear. So a lot of students pull around back of a house and they'll kind of designate parking spaces as a house. Here we're going to park here and we're going to handle it that way. But that is, dependent on the house. It depends on how close it is to campus. Most of them. Yeah, not really. Yeah, you're talking from experience. Yeah. All right. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, I know that a computer is different.
A commuter is different, yeah. Most commuters, what they would do is get a permit for a lot.
And that's
And
specific.
they would have to, they would have to park in that specific lot and then go to a bus and then that bus would take us from campus.
And are there any places where they will be parking, parking places?
Yes, there are some areas for that too. So on the street, for example, it has a 30-minute park. That's temporary. It's not something that's supposed to be overnight or on a permanent basis. But if there's an event, you have guests showing up, or people just stopping by this campus, that's the opportunity for students. Besides that, I would suggest sticking to the lot that they were assigned, just to avoid ticket situations. Because I know College Avenue, that campus especially, ticket heavy on that campus because it's more compact. The parking lots aren't as big. It has the flagship campus. So places like Livingston, I remember the commotion last summer. The Livingston parking lot, especially lot 105, which is categorized to the students that are here, it's massive. It's the one that has the solar panels on top of generating energy from the campus. It's massive. It doesn't fit. So there are students that may have classes on Douglas all day, but they can assign to lot 105 because that's what they're space. So places for students, I've already touched on. I've already touched on leases as well. And winter is coming. This is another example of some of the resources that we pass out to students. We actually have an event coming up this Thursday called Late Night Nosh, which is a midnight breakfast type program. And traditionally, a lot of campuses have that for their residential students, people that live on campus. But we wanted to make sure that we do that for our off-campus students as well. So we're working with a business called Hidden Grounds. Anybody familiar with Hidden Grounds? Okay. And they're going to be providing a few hundred, teas, hot chocolates, coffees, pastries, breakfast sandwiches at midnight till 1:30 for our students because they're up, they're studying. We know they're probably hungry. Those meal swipes are getting low, so we can show a little love by giving them some free food, especially in the middle of finals time. That's this Thursday night.
Where is it?
Hidden Grounds on Eastern Avenue. Hidden Grounds. This is what we do every semester. So, I'm rocking my trusty dusty Night's Watch pen. And some more information on Night's Watch. Night's Watch is a awareness campaign. And we want to make sure that our students in their social interactions and them being communal and going from house to house, from on campus to off campus, that generally they are looking out for one another. It's a really simple initiative, but it's one that is important and it could save lives. So making sure that when you're going from house to house or traveling off campus, making sure that you're not traveling alone. Reminding students to look out for dim streets or out street lights because that's something that we also track through our offices. They report that to our office and then we contact the city of New Brunswick to make sure that they get that taken care of. Making sure that they have RUPD saved into their phone. So instead of trying to Google it and look it up and then call when an emergency happens, they have ready access to get emergency services in case they need it. Those are the type of things that we push through the Night's Watch, and I try to wear my pen as often as possible so we can get that going in people's minds to look out for one another and build community as well. Right. So a few more community building events that we have. We have a housing fair, an off-campus housing fair that we throw every semester. That off-campus housing fair is an opportunity for vendors and local apartments and landlords to actually come here on campus and recruit to students that are thinking about moving off campus. Last month actually, we held it in the College Avenue Student Center and had great attendance, gave out popcorn, took pictures, but it was an opportunity for our landlords to again market directly to our students and our students to enjoy some prizes and free things, free food, and talk to landlords without doing that active search themselves out in the community. It just made it a little bit more accessible. Are You a Good Neighbor is another program that we're encouraging. I kind of touched on this earlier, but making sure students are interacting with their neighbors, even if those neighbors aren't students. Because a lot of times our conflicts or phone calls to RUPD may arise out of a family that has been, living off leases for the last decade, and a group of 5 freshmen that just moved into the house next door. So making sure that we're opening up those lines of communication. And when we do our block watch at the beginning of every semester, and we do it continually every year, we don't just canvass to our students. We knock on every door at the beginning of the semester. We're knocking on every door to let students, families, people in the area know that we're here, that we have resources that are available to you, and we're listening. Another thing to hopefully encourage more and more community as time goes.
What is your off-housing campus fair for the spring?
We have not scheduled a date and location for the spring housing fair yet, but it will be later in the spring, more than likely mid to late March. Maybe early April. It'll be later on in the spring. I already touched on the food pantry, but just to reiterate, a lot of our students are hesitant in receiving help. So if you feel like anyone was in need, a student, or that you wanted to pass along this information to, I would just pass it along to them and make sure that they understand that it is discreet, that it's not something that gets told. We're in a house that's off campus, and a lot of people come to our house for many reasons. If they are a part of a sorority or fraternity, if they're part of a student organization, I advise personally 11 different groups here on campus. So any one of those treasurers or presidents may be coming into our house to get advising information. So it doesn't look like, oh, you're going to receive help just because you show up on our program. So that's something that, it may make the difference in that student getting the food that they need, and then being able to focus on academics, to make sure that they get the better grade and they excel like they should. Photo of our Give Where You Live interns, which I spoke on earlier. And they focus on community service and engagement in New Brunswick. Now, our multi-faith council, I touched on this earlier as well. Again, it's a collection of priests, ministers, rabbis, and imams that meet on a regular basis. They meet on a monthly basis. We meet monthly, and we discuss things that are happening on campus, discussing the concerns of the students. A lot of times, these chaplains have their fingers and their ears to the ground. They're on the front lines of a lot of the distresses and a lot of the problems that the students are going through here on campus, especially as it concerns their faith. So that usually hits our student feed. And we try to figure out ways to better reach students. Have events like Common Ground, trying to find ways to assist one another, to talk humanely to one another, to engage in simple discourse where one isn't uprooting or or bashing someone's religion, their upbringing, or their background. So, are you off campus.rutgers.edu is our website. That's our phone number as well. But again, if you don't want to write all this down, you could literally Google, "Are you off campus?" and we should be the #1 hit that pops up.